Everyone tells mothers to set boundaries. Say no to late meetings, say no to extra work, say no to weekend emails, but nobody talks about the real question: what if saying no comes with a cost? What if you are in a competitive workplace? What if AI is changing your industry? What if your next promotion depends on visibility? What if your manager remembers who stepped up and who didn't? So the question isn't should mothers have boundaries. The question is which boundaries are worth defending. So in this video we are going to go through some different types of boundaries about AI replacing me. So how can we talk about boundaries when AI can replace you anytime? When actually to say no, how boundaries affect your relationship with the babies, and also how boundaries at workplace affect your marriage. And we will of course give some practical rules for STEM mothers. Most boundary discussions on social media are oversimplified. They say, well, just say no, but that's not how real careers work. Especially not in STEM industry, especially not in leadership, and especially not in corporations. Especially not in AI-driven workplace. You don't need another person to tell you, protect your peace. We have to answer another type of question, and it is, how do you protect your family without damaging your career? This is a much harder and more interesting question. Most people think boundaries mean leaving at 5 p.m., turning off email, refusing extra work, but boundaries can also mean time boundaries. When am I available? Your energy boundaries. What work deserves my best energy? Emotional boundaries. How much workplace stress enters my home? This is a very, very important one, because you shouldn't be bringing anything about work home after you're done with working. Travel boundaries. How much travel is acceptable for you and for your family? You should think and talk about that to your husband, because he will also give you a good input in order to decide properly about this question. Family boundaries. What family events are non-negotiable? Your identity boundaries. Who am I outside of my job? Especially now, after motherhood. So you should think about those questions. Of course, talk to your husband what he thinks about this kind of thing. Again, we mentioned that in a video before, or few videos before. You and your husband, you are a team, and you should be working like a team. You probably put on your LinkedIn profile and in your CV that you are a team player, team worker, yeah? So show that you are a team player at home also. Talk to your husband about these kind of things. He will always give you a good input. And what about the AI? Can AI replace you? Sometimes yes, partially, sometimes eventually. Some tasks are becoming automated, but here is the important distinction. AI is replacing tasks faster than it is replacing trust. Yeah? So the most valuable professionals are often problem solvers, decision makers, relationship builders, domain expert. The lesson is not work all the time because AI is coming. The lesson is become difficult to replace. And yes, you can be thinking about the new skills, about the new project and how to be irreplaceable, but how do you know when to say no? When actually you can say no? Here is the core framework, and I would introduce something like this. It's a 3-level boundary test. You have a green zone. Green zone is saying yes. And the examples are when it comes to career growth opportunity, when it comes to visibility project, when it comes to learning opportunity, when it comes to temporary stretch assignments, in case of inspection or something like that. This is very visible, so maybe you want to show yourself there, yeah? These investments often pay back. Maybe already next year on a pay raise or a promotion or something like that. So think about this. Consider to put these kind of examples in your green zone, and green zone is when you are saying yes. What about the yellow zone? So yellow zone is when you can negotiate. Maybe yes, maybe no. Okay, yes, but then you do this. How does it look like? It's about additional responsibility, about travel, about recurring meetings. So instead of no, as I say, try like yes, but. Yes, but not weekly. Yes, but after this project. Yes, but let's revisit in 3 months from now. You can have your own yellow zone, and what do you want to put, which kind of examples you want to put in your yellow zone according to your job description, according to your IDP, according to your current situation at your workplace that is happening right now. And on the end we have the red zone. The red zone is hard no. No, 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 no. And examples could be 10 p.m. meetings, repeated weekend work if you don't work weekends usually, expectations that damage your health, expectations that undermine your parenting partnership. These aren't growth opportunities. They are sustainability problems. So you always want to say no on these kind of things. And of course, again, you could have your examples and tasks that you don't want to do ever. So now when we say that, let's move to the part where we discuss how boundaries that you set up at work will affect your relationships. First of all, how will that affect a relationship with your baby? This is where the emotional connection comes in, yeah? Research on child development consistently suggests that children benefit from more responsive caregiving, emotional available parents, and predictable routines. I can always say that my baby liked predictable routine so much that we couldn't even go for holidays properly, because he would change his bed, he wouldn't eat at his dining table anymore, so everything was so difficult. Even now it's not simple when he is not baby anymore. Now he is toddler, but still he likes his routine, his bed, his shower, and so on and so on. Knowing that, the question isn't anymore how many hours are you home. The question is what version of you comes home. Don't be completely exhausted so that you cannot play with your child anymore. Your child still needs a mom who has some energy, same as your husband. So let's talk about how boundaries at work will affect your marriage. This is very important because you will most likely be in a relationship with your husband more than in a relationship with your workplace. Many marriages struggle not because work exists, but because work expands without limits. When one partner constantly absorbs late meetings, travel, extra projects, emergency requests, then the other partner often absorbs household management, childcare, and emotional labor. And this is when you start having issues in your relationship, not because one of you is a bad person, but because the system is unbalanced. And I'm not talking here that just a woman will be the one who will have extra meetings, projects, travel, and so on. It could also happen with a husband, but in this channel we are focusing on women. So that's why I'm saying for this case that you, mom, are the one who tries to set up the boundaries. Many high achievers think, I will just push hard for another year, and then one more promotion, and then one more project, and then one more product launch, and suddenly 5 years have passed, and this isn't a motherhood issue, this is a life issue, because it affects, again, your baby, your family life, your marriage, your life in general. Yeah, so think about it. Years will pass very quickly. Time flies. Yeah. Every decision about extra projects, extra travel will affect your life somehow. You could ask yourself another question. If your company doubled your salary tomorrow, so if you are now earning 80,000 pounds, euros, dollars, whatever, and next day will be 160, would you give them every evening for the next 5 years? Would you give them every school event, every family dinner, every weekend? I think most people wouldn't. Yet, sometimes we give those things away one meeting at a time. And how on the end you should protect yourself in the whole this story. So there is also a practical rule for STEM mothers. You should protect routines. Be flexible on exceptions. Of course, there is an example that I can give you. It's a bad thing to work every night. Yeah, it's a very bad thing. But working late for a product launch twice a year, that's good. That's okay. That will bring you new visibility. That will bring you new promotion, more money. So this is okay. Because emergencies are temporary, culture is permanent. Never build your life around temporary emergencies. Your boundary is not a wall. Your boundary is a decision about what you are willing to trade. Motherhood forces us to ask questions many professionals spend years avoiding. What matters most? What is enough? What am I willing to sacrifice? And what am I not willing to sacrifice? And the answer won't be same for every mother. Some women will choose faster career growth. Some will choose more family time. Most of us will move between those choices through our lives. But the important thing is that we make those decisions consciously. Because if we don't define our boundaries, someone else will define them for us. And who is that someone else? You will find out in the next video, because in the next video we are going to be talking about the special type of a bad boss, and that bad boss, it's called the nice bad boss. So see you there.